Have you ever wondered what really hides behind the glossy promises of a warranty? People usually don't think too hard about it. You buy a car, you drive it, and the warranty is supposed to be your safety net, right? But when it comes to the Maxwell EV, things are not that simple.
This is not just another electric vehicle.
It has been marketed as a breakthrough, an invention that doesn't need traditional charging, a car that supposedly powers itself. That alone is enough to make people skeptical. But the real surprise doesn't come from the way the car works, or doesn't work. It comes from what's written in the warranty. That document is turning heads, shocking new buyers, and raising serious questions about what Maxwell is really offering to its customers. Because when you dig into the details, you realize this isn't your ordinary warranty. It's something much stranger.
Let's paint a picture.
Imagine the excitement of a buyer walking into a Maxwell showroom for the first time. The car looks futuristic, the price tag is lower than expected, and the sales representative is smiling, ready to hand over the keys to the future.
The conversation goes something like this. What happens if something breaks down?
The rep smiles again and says, "Don't worry, the warranty covers everything." That sounds reassuring. But everything is a dangerous word. What does it really mean? That's what we're going to explore in depth, because the deeper you look, the more you realize how much of this is smoke and mirrors. First, let's talk about the unusual parts of the warranty. Most car companies keep things very predictable. You get coverage for the powertrain, the battery, and certain mechanical parts. If your door handle breaks or your screen glitches, you're often on your own after a short period. But Maxwell claims to be different. Their warranty explicitly states that both hardware and software issues are covered. Think about that for a second. This isn't just about replacing a broken motor or fixing a wiring issue. If the car's unique self-powering software malfunctions, if the system that supposedly allows it to run indefinitely without charging fails, they are obligated to fix it. That's huge. Most automakers dodge responsibility when it comes to software. Tesla, for example, loves to push out an over-the-air update instead of admitting something is wrong. But Maxwell is putting it in writing. If our system crashes, we'll fix it. On the surface, that looks like a bold move. But then comes the catch. The warranty includes a clause that says this coverage is void if the user attempts any kind of third-party modification. That means if you install an app, connect an unauthorized diagnostic tool, or even run a simple update from a non-Maxwell source, they can walk away from responsibility. So yes, they're covering software, but only if you never step outside their walls. It's a clever way to look generous while keeping customers locked into their ecosystem. Now let's move to the most shocking promise, the battery. Every EV buyer knows the battery is the heart of the car, and replacing one can cost tens of thousands of dollars. That's why warranties usually emphasize battery protection. Most automakers promise that if your battery loses more than 30% of its capacity within 8 years, you're entitled to a replacement. Maxwell decided to push things even further. Their warranty talks about lifetime battery coverage. That sounds incredible, doesn't it?
A lifetime guarantee.
Buyers hear that and think, wow, I'll never have to worry about battery failure again. But then you read the fine print. It says lifetime means the functional lifetime of the original proprietary system. In plain English, that means Maxwell gets to decide when your battery's life is over. If they claim your battery has reached its natural end, they can replace it once and then call it done. There's no true unlimited replacement. It's just one swap, under their definition of lifetime, and then you're left on your own.
It's a clever marketing trick.
They use the word lifetime to attract buyers, but the reality is much less generous than it sounds. And here's another twist: geography. Most people assume warranties are global. If you buy a car in one country and move to another, your coverage still applies as long as the company operates there. But Maxwell's warranty is unusually strict. It only applies in regions where Maxwell has an official service network. That means if you live outside their limited reach, your warranty is basically useless. Imagine spending your savings on this revolutionary EV, only to discover that if it breaks down, the nearest official repair center is thousands of miles away. And even if you somehow manage to ship your car there, the warranty states that all transportation costs fall on you. That could mean thousands of dollars in shipping fees just to get Maxwell to even consider repairing your car. That's not exactly the future buyers thought they were signing up for. But it's not all bad news. There are some surprisingly generous details in the Maxwell warranty too. For example, they include coverage for certain accessories, like home charging equipment.
D'était-ce inusual?
Normally, companies treat accessories as separate products with minimal coverage. But Maxwell seems to know that their self-powering claim is controversial. They quietly include warranty protection for optional charging gear, as if to say, just in case our car doesn't fully live up to its promise, we'll cover the backup systems. It's a small detail, but it shows that even Maxwell knows their claims are ambitious. By offering coverage on chargers, they're trying to reassure buyers who still want a safety net. Of course, the most eye-opening part of all this is the contrast between the bold marketing and the cautious fine print. On stage, Maxwell presents the EV as limitless, self-sustaining, and backed by the strongest warranty in the world. But in reality, the legal language tells a different story. They're hedging their bets, limiting coverage, and making sure they can always define terms in their favor. For the average buyer, this is a rude awakening. People don't always read the fine print. They trust the words lifetime and everything covered. But when problems actually appear, they discover the truth. Maxwell's warranty is full of conditions, loopholes, and carefully chosen language that protects the company more than it protects the customer. And yet, here's the fascinating thing. Even with all these shocking details, people are still buying the Maxwell EV. Why? Because the promise of a self-powered car is just too tempting to ignore. Buyers are willing to gamble, to take the risk that maybe, just maybe, this is the invention that changes everything. And in a strange way, Maxwell's warranty reflects that gamble. It gives enough hope to keep people on board, but it also shields the company from being held fully accountable. It's a balancing act, one that has left many new owners both amazed and frustrated at the same time. Now let's imagine the experience of an actual Maxwell EV owner a few months after buying the car.
At first, everything feels perfect.
The car is silent, smooth, and futuristic. Friends and neighbors stop to ask about it. Everyone is amazed when the owner says, "It powers itself. I don't need to charge it." That sentence alone makes the car feel like a miracle. But then, something small goes wrong. Maybe the touchscreen freezes, maybe the navigation stops responding, or maybe the self-powering indicator starts showing inconsistent numbers. Normally, with any other EV, you'd call customer service, schedule an appointment, and expect a repair. But with Maxwell, the process is much more complicated. The warranty requires strict documentation. Owners are asked to send digital logs from the car system, videos of the problem, and sometimes even physical inspection reports from a Maxwell-approved technician. That sounds fair on paper, but the problem is that Maxwell doesn't have enough approved technicians yet. So people are left waiting, sometimes for weeks, just to get permission to bring their car in for repair. The warranty looks powerful, but in practice, it creates delays and frustrations.
And then commence the real shocker.
One owner discovered that the warranty doesn't fully cover wear and tear items in the way you might expect. Yes, tires and brake pads are usually excluded by most warranties, but Maxwell added an unusual category. They don't cover failures that result from non-standard energy fluctuations. What does that even mean? After some digging, it turns out this is a clause designed to protect the company if the self-powering system fails under unusual conditions. For example, if you drive in extreme heat or cold, and the energy system struggles, they can argue that it was a non-standard fluctuation and deny coverage. This is the kind of vague language that lawyers love but customers hate. Because in reality, almost any failure could be explained away as non-standard. That's why so many people say the warranty feels more like a trap than a promise. But here's where things get even stranger. Some Maxwell owners reported that the warranty includes a clause about resale. If you sell your Maxwell EV to someone else, the warranty doesn't automatically transfer. Instead, the new owner has to register with Maxwell and pay a transfer fee. And even then, some parts of the warranty no longer apply. This is extremely unusual in the car industry. Most automakers allow warranties to transfer freely because it increases the resale value of the car. But Maxwell seems determined to keep control. By limiting transferability, they discourage a second-hand market. Why? Because the company wants buyers to come directly to them, not to purchase used cars from someone else. It's a clever business move, but again, it leaves customers frustrated. Imagine buying a car with a so-called lifetime warranty, only to discover that it becomes almost worthless if you ever decide to sell. Another fascinating detail buried in the warranty is how Maxwell defines defects. With traditional cars, it's simple: if something is broken and it's not your fault, it's covered. But Maxwell adds layers of interpretation. Their warranty states that a defect must be reproducible under standard operating conditions. That means if your car malfunctions in a specific way that the company can't easily replicate, they can refuse coverage. For example, if your car's self-powering system cuts out on long highway drives but works fine during testing in the shop, Maxwell can claim there is no defect. Again, it sounds fair from a legal perspective, but from the customer's point of view, it feels like a loophole. People want certainty, not arguments over technical definitions. Now let's shift to the bigger picture. Why would Maxwell design a warranty like this in the first place? The answer lies in the unusual nature of their product. This is not a traditional EV with a proven technology base. It's something radical, something many scientists still doubt. A self-powered electric car that never needs charging challenges the laws of physics as we know them. So Maxwell is stuck in a strange position. On one hand, they need to convince buyers that the car is reliable. That's why they market the warranty as revolutionary and unbeatable. But on the other hand, they know the risks are high. If the technology fails on a large scale, the company could be overwhelmed with repair costs. So they build in loopholes, restrictions, and definitions that protect them. It's a balancing act between marketing and survival. And yet, despite all this, the company has managed to attract thousands of buyers. How? Because the dream of free, unlimited driving is simply too powerful. Think about it: no more gas, no more charging stations, no more energy bills. Just endless driving. People are willing to take the risk, even if the warranty is shaky, because the reward feels so big. In some ways, Maxwell's warranty is less about protection and more about psychology. It gives buyers enough comfort to make the leap, even if the reality is far less reassuring. One story illustrates this perfectly. A buyer named Daniel purchased his Maxwell EV with high hopes. He was thrilled by the promise of lifetime coverage on the battery. But after just 8 months, his car began to show warning messages about the energy system. When he contacted Maxwell, they told him the issue was caused by environmental interference. That was not covered.
Daniel was furious.
He argued that the car was advertised as self-sustaining under all conditions. But Maxwell stuck to their warranty language. The issue wasn't reproducible under standard conditions. His claim was denied. Daniel quickly realized the lifetime warranty was more of a marketing tool than a safety net. Stories like his are spreading online, creating debate about whether the Maxwell EV is a groundbreaking product or just a well-packaged illusion. Of course, not everyone has had bad experiences. Some owners report that Maxwell honored their claims quickly and even replaced parts free of charge. In these cases, the company seems to be going above and beyond, almost to prove the critics wrong. One customer had a complete system failure, and Maxwell not only replaced the energy module but also covered the towing costs. That shows the company can be generous when it wants to be. But the inconsistency is what makes people nervous. Nobody wants to gamble on whether their warranty claim will be treated seriously or brushed aside. This duality, promises versus reality, is what makes the Maxwell warranty such a fascinating subject. On the surface, it's the most ambitious warranty in the industry. But under the surface, it's full of traps, tricks, and language that favors the company.
And this is where the real shock lies.
People expect companies to exaggerate in marketing, but they don't expect the legal fine print to completely reshape the meaning of words like lifetime and everything. That's why so many buyers feel betrayed. They didn't just buy a car. They bought into a dream. And when that dream collides with legal reality, the result is disappointment, anger, and in some cases, lawsuits.